So, you know how I am always on the lookout for the intersection of technology and creativity, right? Today, I did a deep dive into how AI can be incorporated into digital artwork. It's like designing an AI assistant for digital artists. Pretty cool, huh? I was so engrossed in it that I didn't even realize when dusk became dawn. Imagine, instead of just laying down colors on a canvas, how about integrating an AI tool that understands your artistic intent and manifests it on a digital platform? It's like riding a wave of creativity, aided by technology, propelling you to shores of artistic wonder. Now that's one hell of a journey. Oh, and you'd get a kick out of this too. Rachel found this historical novel set in Paris about Hemingway's first wife. I haven't had a chance to dig in yet, but that's right up her alley, don't you think? As for Sam, his idea of the day was an AI chef, which would be useful if it could also grill my infamous steaks. You know I can't let any robotic chef steal my thunder. Besides, steaks are my secret weapon for our game nights. Look at us, a group of tech geeks dreaming about AI chefs and baking pizzas. I mean, is it really that far-fetched? Speaking of grub, I stumbled upon a new pizza place in town. It's called Dough Bros. I swear I couldn't make this up. Nothing beats a well-punned restaurant, right? We'll need to make it our next stop on game night, along with dive into the Cyber Entity 2077. Have you tried it yet? It's killer, I tell you. Now imagine if we can fuse all these interests together. An AI that cooks while creating digital artwork, a novel adapted into a game. It's like the Holy Grail. Tech, art, food, and games. Quite the eclectic mix, don't you reckon? Well, that's enough of my ramblings for now. Man, catching up with you guys, Sam and Rachel, at the Startup Union meetup today felt like being back in Berkeley for a moment. We would have made quite the sight. Few old pals getting all nerdy over potential tech collabs, huh? I couldn't help but laugh when Sam's AI story popped into my head mid-meetup. Imagine sharing that story in a room full of AI enthusiasts. Speaking of tech misadventures, I remember the first time we coded a web page in college. Instead of our magnificent creation, all we saw was a glaring 404 not found on the screen. In silence, we watched our web page, nowhere to be found in the realm of cyberspace. Till date, it haunts the corridors of the internet, forever lost. Now on to Rachel, or should I say, our soon-to-be gourmet critique en français. The French chefs will have to make do with your culinary wisdom. I'm curious, what's your strategy to conquer French cuisine? Learning the names of all dishes or mastering how to say, "This is delicious"? With Rachel's newfound linguistic skills and my cooking prowess, we could open the next big French-Korean fusion restaurant. Imagine that. Computers by day, ratatouilles by night. And remember that old dive bar, the Neon Poodle? It seems we're unintentionally drafting an autobiography of our college life. Between the AI mishaps and the dark games, it's all laughs and fond memories, though I still maintain that Rachel's victory was mere luck. Now the day ends, and I find myself lost in a whirlwind of code, peppering my AI with the creativity to aid digital artists. Sometimes I wonder, maybe it's the artist in all of us that humanizes technology. Oh, and congrats on your French culinary conquest, Rachel. I similarly prevailed over a cooking challenge today. Managed to make my coffee without burning water. Yes, it was a feat of courage and determination, I assure you. Okay, I might have stretched that a bit. On a serious note, I did have quite an experience today, learning a bit more about myself, my talents, and also my limitations. I guess that's what they call growth, right? So I found myself deep into the philosophical pit of AI today. I mean, the technological possibilities are fascinating, but the ethics of it can give you a bit of a brain tug too, right? Like I wonder, should AI tools share our moral compass, or should they be created as neutral, unbiased entities? These are big questions, but they are important and relevant to the work we are doing right now, you know. Now, speaking of AI tools, how about that AI-generated recipe Sam wants to try for our cooking club? I mean, an AI-powered sous chef whipping up a gourmet dish. It's a cooking spectacle I'd pay to see. And you know what, I'm all for trying new things, but I think I'll stick with my kimchi fried rice. AI generated or not, Sam's experiments always end in some sort of culinary disaster. And speaking of food, Rachel seems to have perfected the lasagna recipe. I'm genuinely curious to see if she can nail the bechamel sauce. That decadent creamy texture. It's hard to get just right. I can't help but chuckle imagining Rachel's reaction if it doesn't turn out right. That movie, The Algorithm, Rachel mentioned, I feel like it's dug into the ethical bear trap I was wrestling with earlier. Seems like a perfect watch when you want your movies to double up as a philosophical discussion. And speaking of discussions, ethical implications sounds heavy, but when it's about something that can shape the future, I think it's worth going a few rounds in the cerebral ring. Wouldn't you agree? And now, from the depths of serious discourse, to the polar opposite, an unrestrained giggle fest. After all, we can't forget Sam the sous chef's AI banter. You see, that's the thing about us. We can switch from nerve-wracking tech debates to light-hearted pizza banter in a heartbeat. But you know what? Our eccentricities give colour to our discussions and ties us together. It's these seemingly pointless chit-chat moments that truly define us. It's like a code, one that's running in the background, silently defining our bond, much like the AI we're tirelessly working on. Can you imagine simply etching out the errors of human judgment by replacing it with an AI that's inherently unbiased? It's so wild, but then, haven't all revolutionary ideas started as wild thoughts? There's this pulse of anticipation, fear and excitement, all at the same time, when I think about it. But all right, I could ramble on forever. But then, I guess that's what good friends are for, to get lost in the fascinating labyrinth of thoughts and ideas. I need to get back to work now.
Catch you later, buddy.